Okay, so let's look in more detail at the anatomy of the joint. So we have many different layers that make up the joint, and we're going to go through those in detail. So you have the bony structure, so those two bones that are coming together in the joint. The next layer is cartilage. Now there's different types of cartilage, but we're going to start with articular cartilage. So articular cartilage covers the ends of the bones where they could otherwise touch each other. Now your bones are a little bit porous, and if the bones were directly touching or moving against each other, they could easily wear down. So the articulate cartilage is there to protect the ends of the bones from wear and tear. So this is a hard, smooth surface. It needs to be hard so that it can last out our lifetime of protecting us from wear and tear, but it needs to be smooth so that the ends of the bones can easily move around each other, not catching and not wearing down. You can think of this somewhat like the rubber surface of an ice skating rink, incredibly hard and durable, but very, very smooth. And it's an important protective, dense covering, a smooth surface to minimize wear and tear. Now, what's really important for you to know about articulate cartilage is that it has no direct blood supply. So with no blood supply, there is no capacity for healing or regeneration. If someone has damaged or worn through their articulate cartilage, it is gone for good. There is also no nerve supply to the articulate cartilage. That means it itself can't feel pain, and it doesn't have a voice for itself. When you have related pain, such as osteoarthritis, it's coming from the surrounding surfaces, not the actual damaged cartilage itself. Any nutrients that are getting to the cartilage comes from the synovial fluid in the joint and from the bone itself. Now there are two other types of cartilage in the joint, and these differ depending on which joint in the body. So in your shoulder and your hip, the second type of cartilage is called the labrum, and it's a fibrocartilage. In your knee, the second type of cartilage is called meniscus. Now what these do is they help your bones fit together. So in the shoulder and the hip, they create a lip around the joint that deepens and encases it. So imagine if you got a bit of Play-Doh, rolled it out into a thin sausage, and then wrapped that around the edge of a cup to then deepen its grip on something. So it helps to hold the joint together and get everything to fit into place nicely. Also helps to absorb shock and impact, reducing wear and tear in the joint. Your meniscus does the same for your knee, helping things fit together, reducing friction and absorbing shock. On top of that is your joint capsule. So your joint capsule connects one bone to the other, like a sac or a tubey grip going around the entire way of the joint. Your joint capsule has two layers. The outer layer is more fibrous and connects and holds the bones together. And then you have the inner layer, which is a synovial membrane which lubricates the joint. It allows for movement, decreases friction, and minimizes wear and tear. On top of that, and surrounding the joints, are your ligaments. Every joint in the body has ligaments holding the bones to bone. So bones are connected to each other through ligaments. They go from bone to bone. They are fibrillar connective tissue that hold everything together. There is very little amount of elastin in the ligaments. There's some, but not much, meaning they don't have much capacity for stretch. And you don't want to stretch them. Their job is to hold everything together. You don't want to weaken that chain by stretching them out. Your ligaments are meant to protect your joints, limiting range of movement to keep the integrity and the structure of your body in place. They provide stability and cohesiveness, holding your bones together. Ligaments contain within them some sensory nerves which help warn you when a stretch has headed into the ligaments or when you're overstretching. So say in a yoga pose in your hamstrings, we'll say you want to feel that in the middle of the hamstrings, in the belly of the muscle. If you feel a sensation near the joint, say up near to the sitting bones, that could be weakening, that would be there the tendon, or it could be pulling on the structure between the joints, the ligaments as well, destabilizing it. Your ligaments, very similar to that cartilage, have very little blood supply. They do have some blood supply, but little, meaning that if they do get injured, they're very slow to heal. So we want to take care of that in yoga. We want to take care of our joints and not be glorifying too much flexibility. We want stability and balance, an appropriate amount of flexibility. Now, as a yoga teacher, you don't need to know all of the different ligaments in the body, but there are a few key ones that you will come across, and we're going to look at those in the next video.